this episode, we review one of the most highly rated cruise lines ever to sail the seas. Back in the day, it was so popular, it won Best Cruise Line Award 20 years in a row. A record nobody has ever matched before or since. If you went with them, it signalled you'd reach the top. And then at their very height, boom, they went bust. Gone, seemingly forever. But, just like a phoenix rising from the ashes, they're now back, and they claim better and stronger than ever. So, is this true? And are they once again the best? We were recently aboard to check everything from top to bottom to see if they can reclaim that title, and if you should be on there too. This is the Ritzy Travel Guide. Welcome back to the Ritzy Travel Guide. My name is Bill, and it's great to have you along with us. Now, winning cruise awards is no easy task. Every line wants to win them because they bring status, they bring credibility, and they bring bookings. Now, back in the day, there was one cruise line that pretty much was the pinnacle, the very top of the cruise industry. So, who were they? Who are we talking about? Well, Crystal Cruise Lines. They dominated the scene for cruising awards, and at that time they owned everything that floated, from riverboats sailing through much of the European countryside, as well as expedition sea ships covering all remote corners of the world. They were so swish, they even had their own Crystal private jet to take you to their ships. They were the luxury all-rounder because they had ships for all seasons, all destinations. But along came the pandemic, and hard times hit. In fact, the entire cruise industry ground to a halt, and by 2022, Crystal could hold out no longer. They collapsed and closed up. End of an era. And then, almost from nowhere, the travel company Abercrombie and Kent stepped in and acquired Crystal. And their pledge to try and claw themselves back and reclaim that title of world's best cruise. So does it matter? Should we be worried about the age of their ships? 2 years ago, they set about a gradual modernisation of their fleet, because as well as introducing some new unique restaurants to get everyone talking about them, additionally they've created some really intriguing double-sized cabins. Currently at this juncture they have 2 ships, more coming. They have the Serenity and the Symphony. So, has it worked? Have Crystal succeeded? Are they now back at the very top of the cruise industry? And that's what we wanted to find out. And we just came back from a cruise aboard on their ship, the Crystal Symphony. So that you can see everything you need to know, we're going to split our review across 2 videos. This is the first one. It's what we call the full review, where we'll show you the ship from top to bottom. You'll see all its facilities, and at the end we'll rate everything and tell you whether we like the Crystal offering. The second video, which is coming out shortly, is all about the experience aboard. We'll show you day by day how it went for us. It's like a cruise diary to help you decide if the style of Crystal is for you, and will the ships put a smile on your face and keep your toes tapping. That video too will also show you some of the ports we visited, right round to Casablanca and Marrakesh in Africa. That's such an evocative place to visit. You'll want to see that one. Now, for full disclosure, for this sailing, we were invited, we were hosted by Crystal Cruises, but we had a completely free rein to comment on exactly as we see fit. Nobody has told us what to say, and as usual, you'll get it from us straight, fair, and honest. Right, onto the ship we go. Are we ready for a bit of Crystal? Bit of ultra-luxury 6-star pampering?
Look at that.
So here we go, 8 nights aboard. In some of the cruise reviews we do, it's all about the ship's technology or the latest gadgets and gimmicks. With Crystal, it's all about the elegance, the tradition, that return to the golden age of cruising. And the moment you get aboard, you really feel it. There's that sense of luxury and calm and serenity. What you also feel is their service, which pops up the second you step aboard, as you're greeted with a glass of champagne and a personalised welcome. The overall atmosphere on the ship is indeed refined and very polished. It feels like a private members' club at sea. There are those glamorous sweeping staircases, high ceilings, and gorgeous chandeliers. You do indeed feel like you're back to how cruising used to be 20 or 30 years ago, at its best. And I feel they've got the ambience absolutely right. Yes, the ships at Crystal might be older, but what many experienced travellers are now seeking is older ships so that you can get this feeling of space and comfort. You're not cheek by jowl, you're not fighting for a seat. Because what makes cruising relaxing is plenty of choice aboard and venues to chill and watch the world go by in comfort. Crystal is an all-inclusive cruise line, which pretty much means everything is included in the price. That means it includes your drinks, including alcoholic and non. It includes Wi-Fi, all of their speciality dining at least once, and all suites get a complimentary butler, and tips and gratuities are also included. And one other aspect worth emphasizing is that everything aboard Crystal is available to all guests. There's no blocked off areas, no hidden ship within a ship that certain other cruise lines are bringing in. So there's no gated retreats or exclusive areas you can't access. On Crystal, the entire ship is designed to deliver a suite class standard. So that does set it apart from many of the competitors who now split their ships into tiers. So both these Crystal ships are in the ultra-luxury category. Each carries between 600 to 750 guests, and that puts them firmly in the small ship category, a world apart from today's floating resort. By comparison, Royal Caribbean's newest ships carry close to 7,000 passengers. That's literally 10 times more. Whereas a ship like Crystal is built for that boutique small ship experience with intimacy and service. So as we go along, we'll rate each section of the ship from 1 to 10. So first off, for the look and feel, we think they've pitched it absolutely right. We'll give the overall impression of the ship 9 out of 10. It does sparkle. In a moment, we're going to show you more around the ship and what the entertainment feels like and activities aboard. We'll start with the heart of the ship aboard the Crystal Symphony, and that's the bars and lounges. There is loads of choice, a surprising amount given the 600 plus passengers. Ships many times this size sometimes have less choice than here. Let's start off with the Starlite Lounge in the centre of the ship. This is a great way to unwind in the evening. We thought it might be a bit staid or old-fashioned on Crystal. Not so. The performers were lively and fun. We enjoyed the selection and genre of music they played. Everything from big band to swing, jive and jazz. And what I think Crystal is brilliant at is its food offerings, and that includes right around the ship. They'll seek you out. Throughout the evening in various venues, staff will magically appear with trays of goodies. There's no need for you to move, it's brought to your chair. And they are gourmet offerings. It's called ultra luxury for a reason, and evenings here are great fun. Must give a shout out to the in-house Latin singer Ana Alonso. She's a live wire. The entire cruise she was dancing, singing, belting out the songs.
What a great show.
That was phenomenal.
Wasn't it?
Another favourite bar of ours is the Avenue Saloon. It's Crystal's take on a piano bar.
Let's go to the piano bar. I hear the sound wafting down the corridor.
A real old-style, wood-panelled section of the ship.
This is quite the party.
We whiled away several hours here enjoying live music. Great atmosphere. Those all-inclusive drinks and nibbles keep coming. It's a real find on the ship. Right next to the Avenue Piano Bar is the Coinnoisseur Club. Again, a real old-world wood-panelled lounge for those who are seeking out a cognac or a whiskey. I absolutely love the theming in here because I'm a sucker for this type of design and feel. You could be Professor Higgins from My Fair Lady, or some period Victorian novel such as Around the World in 80 Days, with those atlases, globes and old encyclopedias. It's also the spot for a cigar, if that takes your fancy.
Have you got your smoking jacket?
Cunard have their Churchill cigar lounge, but if I'm being honest, Crystal's version is even nicer. Sorry about that, but true. In fact, several outlets aboard I think are class leading, that are as good, if not better, than other cruise lines. Another fine example of this is their observation lounge. It's called the Palm Court, and it has a beautiful panoramic venue up front and top, almost conservatory or orangery style. Observation lounges like this are disappearing rapidly in the cruise industry because they want to use the space for something else, something fee-generating, such as cabins. Here on Crystal, everyone can enjoy it. Well done them. The mix of seating is good, from deep armchairs to elegant chaiselongs. It's also the venue for afternoon tea, and I will come back to this later in the video to show you what that looks like, because we attended a couple of them, including a so tempting chocolate high tea. My waistline has evidence to show for that.
So the score we're going to give to bars and lounges is also a 9 out of 10. They are classy, with a good mix of entertainment, and are spacious and comfortable.
It's a huge cocktail, that one. That's a whopper. That's the size of your face.
By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, as it lets us know we're on the right track, and we'll try to put out more of this type of material. I'll come back to other entertainment venues a little bit later in this video. I'll also talk about the theatre and that all-important conclusion, and I'll cover all of that in the summary at the end. But first, let's look at the cuisine, because for a lot of people, when booking a cruise, one of the most important features to really think about is how are the restaurants.
There's no calories, no calories. All right, well, on that basis then, let's have that 0-calorie one right there.
That's the one. Where is it?
I see your very fattening dessert has arrived.
Because Crystal have always claimed that dining is their strong suit. Do we agree? Well, spoiler alert, I can confidently say that Crystal is absolutely a cruise line for foodies. In a moment, we'll take you round the 3 speciality dining options aboard. But first off, let's review the main dining room, because this is a very good yardstick for their abilities. If they don't get this right, then there's no hope for the other outlets. On Crystal, it's called the Waterside. Here we go. Let's show it to you empty first, so you can get a feel for it, and then in a minute we'll go through what we ate. I'd say it has a nice understated elegance to it. Not too showy, strikes the right balance, and it is spacious. To my eyes, it's quite a sophisticated looking venue. Plenty of seating that's well spaced out, not jammed mere inches from the next table. It is open dining, so there's no need to make a reservation. We dined here on several occasions. Let me run through a selection of what we had at various times of the day, so you can judge for yourself.
This is a work of art, isn't it? Look at that. What do we have here?
Cake, yeah?
And for tonight's appetizer, we have tiger prawns.
Wagyu beef. Wow.
With a molecular cuisine.
Steak Diane. Straight out of 1978, really? But why not? Because Crystal Cruises is a classic cruise line. Why not have a classic dish?
And a snapper in a very creamy, cheesy sauce. And over here, a halibut.
I just died and got the potato heaven.
Was it fantastic? Was it that good?
On your camera, do you have a panoramic mode? Because you're gonna need it.
Oh my goodness.
Large is an understatement. That is monster size.
That duck does look beautiful. Look at the colour on that. Good job. Well ordered.
OMG!
That is a large, large portion.
Ridiculous!
And bacon with just fat on it, basically, just to
With
really bring up the
potato,
cholesterol
well.
count.
This is cod. It's just a very interesting presentation. Feel.
A coffee lover's delight. That butter is sinfully good.
It is so herby and so aromatic and so creamy.
We might have to have an appetizer of butter. I tell you what, I've got to hunt down the buttermaid and thank them. This is a triumph.
And the cow.
Oh yeah, and thank the cow as well. Maybe not hunt them down, but thank them.
So I would say the quality of the Waterside main dining room is as good, if not better, than many other cruise lines' speciality dining. It really is that good. And that is a rarity at sea with a main dining room. We were impressed. So theoretically you could dine at the Waterside every night and not go anywhere near the speciality dining outlets, but that would be no fun, would it? Crystal is heavily promoting these 3 specialty dining outlets. Why? Because they say each one is utterly and totally unique to what everybody else at sea has. The Japanese is called Umi Uma by Nobu. Around the world, Nobu is very famous, but this is the only one at sea. There is no other Nobu on any of the other cruise lines. And next is the Monte Carlo-born Beef Bar. Again, no other cruise line offers this. And the third is their upscale Italian called Osteria di Vito. The menu there is created by a Michelin 3-star chef. So, on paper, it all sounds fantastic. Let's go look at them. First, let's look at the one grabbing all the headlines. It's Umi Uma by Nobu.
Let's see what's on.
It's a real credit to Crystal for getting Nobu aboard their 2 ships. Here we go. On Crystal, Umi Uma serves a menu of these innovative Japanese Peruvian fusion dishes and sushi and sashimi.
Nobu special. Caviar salmon.
Isn't that beautiful?
Beautifully presented.
Yellowtail jalapeno with yuzu soy dressing. Una tataki with cilantro sauce and your white fish tiradin.
Is that lobster? The blackened cod.
And we'll show you an extended version of Umi Uma by Nobu in video 2, Our Cruise Diary.
It's worth seeing that because it's quite the experience. Right, the next specialty dining we went to was their Italian.
Go Osteria di Video. A little bit of Italian.
Good evening.
Here we go, it's called Osteria di Video. The menu has recently changed. This restaurant used to be called Prego.
Thank you. Very good. I always like a little bit Italian. Rosé
It's made especially for the restaurant. From Italy.
Yes, from Venice, for the limo bride.
From Venice. Very nice.
We had some fabulous dishes, some that we'd never heard of before, never thought of trying, and we're so happy we took the guidance of the waiters to try some of these unusual offerings.
Hashtag divine.
I think they cut through with a little bit of lime.
We're having the tagliolini al fumo, so tagliolini with smoked butter.
Every spoonful in here is a surprise.
Wow. We would rate the offering at this Italian extremely highly. It's one of the best, if not the best, Italian restaurants because it's authentic. And a shout out also to the wines, as everywhere else around the ship we found the included wines to be of a high standard. Again, we'll have extended coverage of this restaurant in video 2.
I mean, there's never too much cream.
Right.
No such thing as too much cream.
That's right.
Now, these first 2 specialty dining are included in your fare, but there is a proviso. So that everybody can experience, I would suggest you go online weeks or months before you're sailing to get them booked up. And all guests receive 1 complimentary dining per cruise or voyage up to 11 nights. If you want to go to these 2 restaurants again, there's a small supplementary fare of $50 per person. Now, there's one more specialty dining outlet I want to show you before we move on to other areas of the ship, and that's called the Beef Bar. It's newly arrived on the ships, and it's Crystal's take on a steakhouse. Again, a bit of an exclusive for them. It's the first ever outlet on a cruise ship. It specialises in Wagyu and Black Angus beef.
And tonight we dine at the Beef Bar, originating from Monte Carlo no less, famous for its succulent steaks and its street food. Really looking forward to it.
Bon appetit.
Thank you.
Tuna ceviche. Look at that, a tower of fresh tuna. Plus, we have beef tacos and hummus. What a fabulous trio of appetizers.
Look at that tuna, coconut cream, and coconut shavings with shallots. Really good Asian twist, isn't it?
It's all beautifully presented, isn't it? That's the ribeye?
This is ribeye medium rare.
Yes.
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
Truffle parmesan French
Right.
fries.
Full parmesan French fries. I haven't got those. My wife hasn't seen that one.
And beef bar sauce on the side and 2 times vegetables. Bon appetit.
Thank you very much.
There is no limitation to your visits to Beef Bar. As long as they have space, you can go in. In short, the meat was fantastic.
So let's give you our scores for the dining that we have covered so far. First off, the main dining room. The main dining room is extremely good. It's an easy 9 out of 10. I could have given a 10, but let's say 9. It's difficult not to. It is better than the vast majority of main dining rooms at sea. As for the 3 speciality outlets, I'm going to give those a 10, because with a couple of provisos, they're included in your fare, which is very gratifying, and the quality is exceptional.
Now, we haven't finished with dining aboard. Later on in this video, I'll tell you about afternoon tea, the buffet, and room service, because all of these deserve mention. But first, I know you're yelling at the screen. What haven't we shown you yet? The cabins. Let's fix that now. So, interestingly, when Abercrombie and Kent purchased Crystal, they wanted to focus on those cabins because there had been comments they were getting a little bit old, a little bit shabby, and quite small by modern cruise ships' standards. They came up with an unusual alternative, knocked down some walls and turned some of them into double open plan cabins. The cabin grade that received this treatment are called the Sapphire Suites. That's the grade we were in. Let's show you ours. Here we go, the cabin, bated breath. Cabin 5002, deck 5. The Sapphire Suites come in a few varieties. We were in the ocean view version.
Sweet.
Yes, indeed. 2 cabins have been knocked into 1.
I think these cabins look great, and the renovation worked out really well. A lot of style to them. There's a living room section and a bedroom section. And I like the glass lighting that's on the walls. Gives a splash of colour. There are 2 TVs, 1 in each section. If anything, these TVs are too big actually. Short-sighted people will have no problem with those. Here's the bedroom section. Large bed right in the centre, and there's also a big sea view window this side. For us, very important is the sheets and the pillows. They were fluffy and embroidered and very smooth. If you're in a Sapphire Suite, you also get a butler assigned to you. He'll bring you whatever you want, within reason, such as afternoon canopies. I challenge you not to nibble on those every day. You also get some complimentary clothes pressing and dry cleaning, depending on your grade. Here's the closet. It's not huge, but it's reasonable enough. We were able to get in all our things. For us, there was enough hanging and drawer space. There's a safe for your electrical devices. Here's the vanity section. It takes up a large part of one side, comes with an ice bucket, and enough glasses to host a party for, what, about 12. This grade gets a coffee machine, also a tablet, which shows you a variety of information about your booking and events around the ship. There's also this pull-out minibar. As Crystal is all-inclusive, you can have it stocked with your preferred drinks, both alcoholic and not. And each night, there is this naughty box of chocolates that's refilled with 3 varieties. Resistance is futile. The revamped bathrooms also look good. There's double access doors from either the bedroom side or the entry. There's a large, and I mean large, walk-in shower, enough for you and a host of other people. And there's some power nozzles squirting from the walls. Opposite, you have 2 basins and what my wife calls a fabulosity mirror. She likes those, all illuminated. Now again, due to time constraints, I'm going to show you a longer version of the cabin tour in video 2. You'll see how we lived in it for the duration and any long-term observations we had.
Okay, let's score the cabin grade. We were in the Sapphire Suite. We very much enjoyed it. Nice and spacious. We're going to give it a very solid 9 out of 10. Just a quick note to let you know that here on Ritzy Travel Guide, we're also on social media. We're on Instagram and Threads. So if you want to know what we're up to, almost in real time, between our YouTube videos going out, you can check and find us here, also under the name Ritzy Travel Guide. And I've put a link in the bio and description of this video. So follow us along on Instagram.
Let's take another look at entertainment, because after dinner, traditionally on a cruise ship, you like to wander through and see the theatre. Here it is. It's the main performance venue on Crystal ships, and it's called the Galaxy Lounge. Unlike big modern ships where their theatre look like a cinema, this does feel like a lounge, which in many ways is better. Because it has comfortable seating, you can stretch your legs out. There's a side table that you can use for your snacks and drinks. It's a more relaxed version of modern cruise ship theatres. During our cruise, the theatre put on Broadway-style performances, song and dance, and there were some headline entertainers. despite being a small ship, there is a full show band, often accompanying the evening's entertainment. Now, I'm not going to say the shows here match the high-octane laser shows you see on modern ships, but what you lose in modern technical facilities, you gain in a more immersive and intimate feel, because you get much closer to the action here. We saw a Spanish flamenco, violin, husband and wife team. They were enjoyable. There was an Elton John tribute act, also good, and the ship's ensemble. And on one evening, an Irish river dance, with tap shoes splashing around in tanks of water. There was a sign on the seat saying the front row would be a splash zone. I can understand why. Now, if you want to go late into the night and not head back to your cabin, there's also a nightclub. Yes, indeed. Who thought that on a Crystal cruise? Let's go and take a peep. Here it is, it's the Jade Nightclub. Who said Crystal was all about violins and harps and nothing else? It's an intimate lounge for a late night drink and dancing, and a DJ who was so alive he must have plugged himself into the electrical sockets. For those who want a semi-wild night out, you can, and on certain evenings you could let your tonsils loose with karaoke. At the beginning of the video, in the opening sequences, we showed you one night where the ship looks even more beautiful than normal, and that's the White Night. You get one of these per sailing, and the ship's atrium is transformed into almost, well, a winter wonderland. It looks absolutely enchanting. Several cruise lines do variations of a White Night, and I think Crystal does it beautifully. The action starts after dinner, the lights go low, the centre becomes a dance floor, the big band takes up on a makeshift stage, and the drinks, which were already free-flowing anyway, take on a sparkly feel. The waiters come around with illuminated trays of canapes. Champagne and cocktails fill the evening air. It's a stunner of an evening, and we'll show you a longer version of this in video 2. Still to come?
The swimming pool and decks. Haven't shown that to you yet.
The buffet, the casino, and our final verdict, because we have two sides of the coin to tell you about. There is no such thing as the perfect ship, and we'll go through that at the end. Right, shall we take a look at afternoon tea? It's something that luxury and ultra-luxury cruises need to do well.
Hark, what do I hear?
The tinkering of tea time, which means it's time for scones, cupcakes.
Yes, I hear a piano. Let's go and investigate.
It's held in the observation lounge, which is called the Palm Court. Just about every afternoon, they have 1 hour of sweet and savoury indulgence. We like the venue. Actually, it's huge. One of the biggest venues aboard. Seems to go on forever and ever. Apart from tea, it's brilliant for sitting there during arriving and departing ports, as it has an almost 360-degree wraparound windows. There's always some sort of musical accompaniment, either piano or violin. We tried tea twice during our cruise, first time perched right by the front windows. Again, shout out to the staff. By and large, they are all charming and have been with Crystal through thick and thin. On our last sea day, there was a chocolate-themed afternoon tea. On that occasion, the staff were kitted out in full black suits. It felt like we were at the Ritz. More coverage of afternoon tea in video 2, The Cruise Diary. Okay, just about to come to our final conclusion and verdicts, but let's just quickly sneak in a couple of items, starting with the buffet. Here we go. It's called the Marketplace. In honesty, it's not the most extensive buffet we've ever come across, but what they do serve is mostly of good quality. It's the normal combination of hot and cold foods, roast, salads, and desserts. A good point here is that they're very mindful of health. Although it all looks sweet and fattening, there's also plenty of low sugar and low calorie options. They also have low sodium, vegan and vegetarian sections on the days we visited, because it is important that health is given some sort of consideration on a buffet, because if you're on a ship for a long time, you're heading for a heart attack if you don't give some healthy options. Occasionally, I do wish they might be a little bit more adventurous on their cuisines. It does generally play it a bit safe. We also like the fact that there's a lovely alfresco deck at the aft. In the tradition of good classic ships, it was one of our favourite places to sit, weather permitting, particularly over breakfast, watching the world go by in the port below, the ships chugging back and forth. Staff were extremely attentive, bringing you whatever you needed, even if you hadn't thought of it. There is also a light mini buffet down on deck 6. It's called the Bistro. It doubles up as a coffee house and light snacks section. Speciality coffee is also included on Crystal, and they have a good selection. And in the centre of this coffee house is the mini buffet, serving everything from breakfast to light lunch and some afternoon tea items. It's a popular spot to congregate, as it's right by the exit ramp, so you can grab and go a coffee before heading out for the day. But there is one negative to the buffet, which I must bring to your attention, and I'll go through that in the summary at the end.
And the buffet, well, this is a tough one. We're going to give it a 7. That's not to say it's bad, but there are reasons I'm saying that, and we'll come on to that later.
But now let's move outside, show you the deck and pool areas, so you can get a feeling for its size and scale.
Looking down from the top deck, you immediately notice how much space there is for the given number of passengers aboard. This is the relaxed atmosphere I wish other cruise lines have. The central pool is flanked by hot tubs, but the real winner here is the generous deck layout. Unlike on many newer ships, there's no scramble for sun lounges here. Traditional cruise ships, which this is one of, ensured there was sufficient capacity for everyone. Seating is plentiful and it's padded, touches that make a difference. The design reflects a time when ships were built with space in mind, rather than squeezing every inch for cabins. There's even the traditional teak decking all around. Even at peak times, we found the pool deck calm and never crowded. The vast majority of the pool area, we are impressed, but there is one little complaint we have about it, which we'll mention at the end. It's not a huge issue, but it is worth noting. And for that reason, at this juncture, we're giving the pool area 8 out of 10.
Other sections we've not yet mentioned. There is a casino, a very, very small one, but it's here. It's run by the prestigious Monte Carlo casino, and you can see their crest all over the leather chairs. But as Crystal specialises in port-intensive itineraries, it wasn't used very much, because when you're in town, you have to shut that casino. If I was to apply for a job on board, it would be as casino staff, because it's barely open. Brilliant. There is also a cinema, although somewhat confusingly, it's called the Hollywood Theatre, just to throw you off the trail and go in there by mistake. It's a sizable room, actually almost too big. We only ever saw a handful of people in there, but they showed movies a few times a day. Just down the corridor is the library. Again, libraries are a disappearing feature on cruise ships these days. This one is a nice room, loads of books. Looks a bit Cunardish in here, doesn't it? Very dignified. Though it's not the place to sit because there's only a handful of chairs. It's definitely a borrow and go facility. Oh, and there's also a computer lab where you can pay for internet if you don't have your own device. It also holds daytime classes for computing and photography tips. Alright, we've come to that part of the video where we give our final thoughts and verdict. Now, as I said at the beginning, we were invited. This was a hosted cruise. But here on the Ritzy Travel Guide, we have a cast iron commitment to fairness and integrity, and we always give you our honest opinion. So here goes. There is no such thing as the perfect ship. Everybody has aspects that are good and need changing. So here's what we liked about the ship, and then what we feel needs improving. First off, the staff and the service. They are amongst the most genuine, smiley and helpful crew we've ever come across. Crystal claim it is one of their best attributes, and we'd agree. Many of the staff have been with the company for years and returned when it came under new ownership with Abercrombie and Kent. We found the staff to be friendly and helpful. Next up, the entertainment. We thought it to be of good quality. No, it's not huge Broadway productions. This is more intimate. It has a good variety, and night by night we were impressed. Next up, we like the space. It's a great passenger to space ratio, which is very important. It stops everything feeling full. To achieve this, you need sufficient bars, sufficient common areas and restaurants aboard for the given number of passengers. Between 650 to 740 passengers only here with Crystal, almost a staff to passenger ratio of 1 to 1. Next, a huge item in the plus column is the dining. One of the reasons you pay so much more for luxury or ultra luxury is the perceived step up in dining aboard. Thankfully, Crystal really excels at this. All the restaurants aboard are some of the best that are available at sea. We didn't have a bad meal. And the specialty dining, all three of them, are outstanding. All restaurants are available at least once, and if you want to go back to Umi Uma or the Italian, it's a fairly reasonable charge of $50. That's not outrageous given the quality. Next, the cabin. I can only talk about the cabin grade we were in because we didn't experience the others. We were in the Sapphire Suites section. These had a significant upgrade in the 2023 renovation. Ours was the double-sized variety. Now, Crystal is in an ongoing program of renovating their cabins aboard. Not all are this double size, so please, before you make a booking, do double check online so you can see the cabins, what size they are, because there is a big variety. Make sure you pick the one that you really want. Thirdly, the offering is pretty much all inclusive. Room service is totally complimentary, as are drinks, alcoholic and non. Most cocktails and specialty coffee are also included. Now, there is one major exclusion to the all-inclusive package, which I mentioned at the beginning, and that is excursions. They are not included. You need to pay for those separately. You can either buy the ship's tour on board, that's courtesy of Abercrombie and Kent, or be an independent traveller, but tours are not included. Now, who is this cruise not for? What do we feel Crystal needs to improve? What do we think they haven't got quite right?
First up on the list is the buffet. It does have great food, no issues with that, but I do wish it opened for longer hours. It's available for breakfast and lunch, that's perfect, but it closes at the dot of 1:30 p.m, and that's it for the day. It doesn't reopen for tea or for dinner, which caught us out because on a couple of occasions we came back from a morning out in town, visiting a port, got back on ship at about 1:30 and the buffet was closed. Likewise, some evenings we wanted something just a little light and casual, but the buffet option is not there, which is a crying shame because the flexibility of a good quality light bite is the attraction of a buffet. Next up, Crystal has no app. In this day and age, it is helpful to have one. I know a couple of other cruise lines also don't have an app, such as Azamara and Oceania. They don't, but Crystal do need to get one. There is a web page, but it's not the same thing. Next item on the wish list is the pool area. Now, I know earlier I was saying what a great part of the ship it is. That's absolutely true. It's pretty and spacious, but the reason I also put it in this category is because it could benefit from a tweak. There's no poolside bar or cafe or dining outlet, which is odd for a cruise ship. Now, staff do fill the gap by circulating around, offering drinks, but it would be nice for convenience and ambiance to have facilities by the pool area, as well as some form of entertainment there. Now, I don't mean excessively loud banging music, but many luxury lines do have a stage for a bit of live jazz or nice music at a discreet and enjoyable volume. We feel it is so pretty, and it would take it to the next level to have something to give it a little live boost.
And that's pretty much it for the wish list, what we think needs improving. After over 25 years of cruising, normally a wish list has many more items on it than that, so it's absolute credit, absolute kudos to Crystal that we had just a limited number of items in that wish list. So at the end of the day, would we recommend Crystal Cruise Lines? Absolutely. There is so much they're getting right. In a world where some cruise lines are rushing to innovate just for the sake of it or build ships so big, so modern, you could mistake them for a floating condominium, Crystal stands apart. It's polished, it's refined, taking you back to how cruising used to be on a small, elegant ship. It's not cheap, it is luxury and ultra luxury. The name is there on the tin, but if you're looking for that elevated experience, I think Crystal does it as good, if not better, than the competition out there right now. I wouldn't say so if it wasn't true, and I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't come off and say exactly the same thing. Don't forget that in our upcoming video 2, a cruise diary, people often ask us to show a little bit more of where we visited. So we'll show you that. Some of the ports were beautiful. We go around the Mediterranean, calling some cute little towns. Also, we steam off to North Africa and Casablanca and Marrakesh in Morocco. Very few cruise lines go there, and we spent a lovely evening at the famous Rick's Cafe in Casablanca, renowned after the 1942 Humphrey Bogart movie. So lots to see in that video diary. Do make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you know when that next episode drops. Subscription is free. We're also on social media, so please do follow along there. As soon as that video 2, the cruise diary, is available, I'll link it for you up here so you can click on that. In the meantime, while waiting, we have several existing videos with many reviews of cruise ships and port destinations, which you can watch now. Thank you so much for joining us on the Ritzy Travel Guide. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you in one of these now.